Which was a bigger wasted opportunity, Tim? Flames loss or Leafs loss?
I know the correct answer for most people will be the Calgary Flames not being able to even up this series at 2 apiece and falling down 3-1. They're going home. They're the 1 seed. I feel rather comfortable. I feel like if you're asking me opportunity was for the Leafs to take a 3-1 stranglehold against their arch nemesis. They had in front of them an opportunity to take a large step in exercising the demons that are the Boston Bruins, the past, the history, everything that weighs on this franchise, maybe not these players, but that franchise, 1967. Remember all the talk about Mitch Marner's block shots and understanding what it takes to win now, not only learning to win, but sacrificing to win? They fell asleep for a second and were down 2-0 in that game. They came out flat immediately after those block shots from Mitch Marner that were labeled as heroic, lore-like moves from Mitch Marner. Blink of an eye, 6 minutes, 38 seconds to be exact, of the first period, the team was down to how, in the good name of Rocky Saganuk, could you come out flat in that game? And the Leafs did it.
Because the Leafs still have some Leafs in them.
That is, you are.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say with that statement?
What I said over the first, 2 minutes of this show could be succinctly said by what you just said.
I don't know about that.
Yes.
I thank you for saying that.
The Leafs still have some Leafs in them. Bingo has been called. I gave you horns.
I heard it. Because this is a Leaf team who one night, Muzzin and Zaitsev will both be a +3. And 2 nights later, like last night, both are -3. And you don't know which way it's really going to go from night to night. Now, I'm not saying the playoffs, you got to run the table. Playoffs are tough. Adjustments get made. It's a different story every night. Momentum does not exist in this postseason unless you got that hot goalie. And right now, neither team has the hot goalie.
No.
So that's what makes this series interesting to me. But the Maple Leafs still haven't figured out that you got to play something that looks like 60 minutes.
Correct.
And no team that falls down 2 goals twice in a hockey game deserves anything. And the Leafs didn't deserve anything last night.
And this was a symptom of this squad for much of the year, right?
Right.
Not being able to string together consistent 60-minute efforts. And I thought playing the Boston Bruins last year, playing the Boston Bruins this year, may give you an idea of what it takes to play 60 minutes, because oftentimes that team does that. Now, I don't know if they did it in game number 1. In fact, Brad Marchand said after, we took them a little lightly.
Yeah.
But I thought the Leafs, having watched that, would understand what you have to sacrifice, how you win, and you are bang on. It's to play 60 minutes and or more, depending on if you go to overtime.
Tuukka Rask wasn't good last night.
No.
Like, there were a lot of guys on that Bruin team. Well, Bergeron didn't play much.
No, Bergeron.
You want to go down this road briefly? I think it's significant.
The -3s, too, are also a factor in the Bergeron not playing much and the Bruce Cassidy moving David Pasternak to another line to try and get him going, or at least that's how he explained it.
Right.
The coach. It also might be because Bergeron's hurt. I mean, how else do you explain one of the biggest games of the year, if not the biggest game of the year, and one of the best players on the team playing only 14 minutes?
I can't explain that. This time of year, you know what it feels like at this time of year when that's the case, but we don't have any proof.
Well, but this guy's done it before. Like, you remember 2013?
Patrice Bergeron is from another planet physically.
He played in the Stanley Cup final with a broken rib and a separated shoulder, and we only found out after.
And the punctured lung.
Oh, yeah, he also had a punctured lung.
Forgot about the punctured lung that he played with. He is from Mars. So you know something's up if his minutes are not what they normally are in Game 4 that they basically have to win.
While the stars arrived.
Well, exactly.
Pasternak played.
Pasternak played pretty well. Marchand played pretty well.
Yeah.
And Bruce Cassidy and those guys had a meeting after Game 3. They talked. That first line, he was not going to break up the first line, but they had a meeting and tried to figure out different ways to attack the Leafs. Look, I believe the Leafs have the talent to jump on the team. We've seen that the Leafs have the ability to now close these type of games. They've done it a couple times this postseason.
Yep.
They still do not show up when they need to, and I'm sorry, that leads to maturity. That's not a talent issue with me. That's a maturity issue with the Leafs. You cannot go down that quickly 2-0 at home, and all the air in your building, regardless of who's wearing what sweater, is completely sucked out of it.
But that, like, sometimes I fear that you get caught up in the recency bias.
A little bit.
In Game 2,
I do.
In Game 2, they were unwilling to pay the price.
Correct.
Right? That 4-1 loss in Boston when the whistles went away, it seemed to me, and maybe you'll agree with me, like the Leafs were unwilling to pay the price. Last night, again, seemed to me like they were unwilling to pay the price, especially early.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Let me ask you this. If this makes you feel better long term, you've wasted the opportunity to go up 3-1, but Leafs dominated the Bruins at even strength. They had 62% of the shot attempts. 42-31 were the total shots on goal. Shot attempts were 70-43 for the Leafs. Austin Matthews shows up with 2 goals in the loss. Are all those long-term? I mean, now you're talking about at least 6. Probably 7 because it's Leafs and Bruins.
Feels like 7, yeah. Feels like 7.
But is that something long-term that the Leafs might be able to hang their hat on, or at least their fans? Because their fans are petrified right now.
They better hang their hat on. They better hang their hat on something.
Can't hang it on the penalty kill.
Because the penalty kill's not happening. It's an embarrassment how little they can figure it out positionally on a consistent basis. 5 power play goals they've allowed now to Boston in the series. Yeah. And that's going to kill them. Because the whistles are going to go both ways.
And a bit of a bind, too, because you want the game to be called that way, and yet every time you have a penalty, the other team scores.
But it's not.
Or at least 5 of 11 times.
It just seemed like there was just dumb stuff all around, Tim. And I want to use another word for that Leaf performance at times last night. The Chara goal, the 5th goal of the night for Boston.
And he had a lot of time and space at the.
Can we 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi? How long Chara is standing at the blue line before someone 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Miss. If anyone would like to go out and deal with the 42-year-old with the shot, go ahead.
Well,
Tavares, Marner, anyone. You can go out there anytime you want and deal with it.
It's not like he's won a couple of hardest shots. Wait a second.
Yeah, that's correct.